Good afternoon. I am here with Robert Shaw. And Robert, tell us a little bit about your area. I know Marion County, we're seeing a lot of action out of that area now, but tell us a little bit about you and your area that you're running in.
Yes, again, my name is Robert Shaw. I'm running for state representative in District 24 here in Marion County. I moved here 2 years ago. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. For the last 10 years prior to coming here, I was living in the Houston area in Rosenberg, just south of Houston from 2012 to 2022. Decided to come to Florida, retire, and try to have a good time and relax. But found out that we need some work done here, that people aren't getting treated fairly across the board. And I want to try to be a voice for people that were being bullied and afraid to step forward and fight for their rights. So I want to make sure that we are all getting treated and get what we need to enjoy life.
I appreciate that. A lot of folks who sometimes come from up north, and as much as you went to Houston and that's still south. When you see what's happening in Florida, well, let me rephrase that. When they see what's happening in Florida, especially with regards to people being beaten down and not speaking up for themselves, a lot of times it is those Northerners who come and they put that extra fire into our bellies to help fight. And so 2 years in, and you've already seen that we need more action here.
That's right. And I couldn't just sit back. I wanted to, just enjoy my years in my life and try to just play golf or go play softball, go to the gym. But that wasn't enough. I found out early on in life, when I first went into the military, one of the first things that happened, our drill instructor, he asked where everybody was from. And I told him I was from Philadelphia, and there was a couple people from New York, a couple other big cities. And that's who he put in charge. That's who he made the squad leaders, and that's who he counted on to get things done, because he knew we had what was needed to do that. And that's the same thing that we're trying to do here. We're just trying to make sure everybody's getting a fair shake. Everybody's treated the same, and nobody is better than the other person.
And tell me some of the issues that you're passionate about in that area.
It's too many to count. But so we'll start with the easy ones. Real estate. When I lived in New Jersey for a while, and real estate insurance was very high, and we're like, what's going on? Why is this? And I come down here and find out there's certain things that they can raise your rates almost up to 15% without getting approval. So that's something we need to fix. We're on fixed incomes. We don't have a lot of money coming in. It's not like I can go work overtime or anything. I need to make sure that I can survive. I don't want to have to move again. The same thing with infrastructure. We have a lot of people moving down here, and we're not building correctly. It's going to be overrun. We don't have the proper schools. We don't have the proper teachers. We don't have the proper nurses. I mean, you name it. It's a lot of things going on that we're not prepared for. So we need to make some adjustments and make sure that if you come to Florida, you can actually enjoy Florida, that it's not going to change into something different.
That's very valid. I kind of told you earlier, we were working behind the scenes with Stanley Campbell, and across the state, we were hearing the same things: insurance, and that really wasn't even just for folks on fixed income. That really was just across the board. That has become such a pain point for Floridians, and this issue's been going on and on. But I would hope that I'm hearing it from a lot more folks who are running for office now. Do you have any thoughts on how you would look at fixing this insurance issue?
Yes. So the good thing about that is it's not on a party line. So it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican or NPA. That's something that's going to affect you. So we should be able to get together in the House and decide, hey, this is what we need to do because it's for the betterment of the people. We too often, it seems like, they're saying they're not going to do something just because the party doesn't want it done. But this is a difference. So I like to talk to people and listen to what they have to say and find out what we have in common. This has to be something that we have in common and has to be something that we work towards fixing because we need some help. The people need some help. I know I need help.
Yeah, no, I mean this seems to definitely be from Miami all the way. Well, let me not say the Keys all the way up to the Panhandle. the insurance costs seems to be the common one that we're all fighting with. Now, in your area, you're closer to a lot of seniors, and you talked about fixed income and costs. What are you hearing from the seniors in that area? Are they coming out to vote? Are generally people coming out to vote, or is that something we need to push in your area?
One of the things we tried to push really is the vote by mail, just in case something happens, you want people to be able to make sure they get their votes in. So vote by mail has been a big push for us. We had to make sure everybody got their petitions renewed, just because every 2 years you have to do that. After this election in January, you'd have to do it again. So we're really pushing that. We're doing a lot of canvassing, saying, okay, if you don't do vote by mail, then you can do the early voting, because you don't want to wait to the last minute. If something happens on election day and you can't get there, that could be a problem. So whichever way, where I'm at is real easy. The election places, within walking distance, but everybody doesn't have that. I went to one person's house and she was on oxygen. She didn't have a car and she had no way to get to the election, and she didn't realize that her vote by mail had expired. So we gave her the information to try to get that renewed. So it's real important that everybody gets out to vote. Whichever way you're going to do, make sure you go vote.
I like that. It sounds like you guys are putting in the work. It sounds like you're putting in the work. You guys are knocking doors and stuff in that area.
Yes, I'm scheduled to go canvassing Saturday again. Every day they're doing phone calls. We're doing postcards, whatever we can to try to stimulate people to vote. You see, I have my shirt on today. I went to, we have a center called our Reunion Center where a lot of our activities are. And we set our table there and we had people coming in. We were making sure that anything they needed regarding this election, we were there for them to help them get what they needed. And our supervisor of elections, he's very good. He came to visit us here twice. That he spoke, and he spoke one time at our club in town, and he explained everything, every question that people had. And because I wasn't a big vote by mail person myself, I like to go to the polls, but once I came here, they said, no, do the vote by mail. It's a little bit easier. Plus, on election night, the vote is already counted, so it's there. The results come out a little bit faster. So
I guess everyone
running for office, that I'll be able to see how many I got. So.
Yeah, I guess everyone's got their preference. I love the voting early, because then you're out, you're doing whatever. You don't even have to think about your exact polling station. You get it done. That's exactly. Really my preference. I have never done the vote by mail, but I love the voting early. I think it's just too easy to not do.
On the vote by mail is really good now, because you can sign out for ballot tracking. So as soon as you send it in, you'll get a notice to say they received your ballot. They'll say it was counted. So you have all that online. They'll tell you when it's coming, when they got it back. So it's really good electronically for the new age is where we're going, I think.
Jeez. All right. I learned something new here today. It really sounds like you guys are also creating community out there. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because we've been privy to just some of the events that y'all are having. And I definitely am going to come out there and see how we could drive some more momentum within the Caribbean community, especially to come out to hear more. But is that the sense that you have? Is it like you're making a difference just in getting in the fight?
One of our main targets, we mentioned earlier, Marion Oaks, that's where we have a high population of the Caribbean here. And we wanted to target that area just because when we looked at the numbers, the turnout for the elections weren't as high as we thought it should be. So we're trying to get those numbers up. We're making sure people realize that this election is important, not just at the top, but all up and down the ballot, because it's going to affect you in what we're doing here in the county. If we don't speak up and do anything about it, it's going to be too late when we see things happening that we don't like. So I like to listen. We got 2 ears, 1 mouth. I like to listen to people, hear what they have to say, then try to go make decisions on what we need to do. So when I come to a door from someone, it's not just to get them to vote or vote by mail or vote for me. It's also to listen, to hear what they have to say. So what problems are you having in your community? Where do you think we need some help? So when I go to Tallahassee, I'll have some direction on this is what people need, and this is where we need to focus on.
And I'm gonna mention this especially because I know that the folks listening, we have to I'm trying to make sure we educate them as to how this works. But you mentioned something really important there. You're there to listen so that when you go to Tallahassee, you action. This is how democracy works. This is how especially our state rep races work. You are there taking the tone and the pulse of the community so that you represent them and you do your best to ensure that what they tell you are their pain points, right?
Right, because it's going to be different in every community also. So one community may be concerned. I know on top of the world they're concerned about apartment buildings going up. But when I go in town, they were concerned about building and a lack of schools or a lack of quality supermarkets. So it's different all over the place. So you have to make sure you're listening to each person, not just assume that they're all going to have the same problems.
Yeah, and I commend you for getting out there and getting to know. And I'm just saying to you, the community, you've got to engage in order to let him know what you want. That's how it works. Well, Robert, tell us how we could follow you, right? How and what you need, what you need. I know every candidate needs funds, right? So I'm sure you need fundraising to get messaging out. But what else do you need?
That's correct. We need funds. The easy way would be go to robertshawcampaign.com, .com.org, .net. It doesn't matter. On that, we have, I thought that was my phone. On that, we have a link where you can donate. There's, you mentioned my bio. My bio's on there. I have several pictures from events that I went to. We're going to be adding some more stuff as it comes up. So if you want to contact us, you can do it through the website. There's a link that you can click, and then you can send us an email or info@robertshawcampaign.com. Try to make it easy. It's all the same.
Yes.
ActBlue is where we accept most of our donations. We do accept checks. You'd have to have an envelope. But if you go to ActBlue or you go to my robertshawcampaign.com, there's a donate button there. But if you go to ActBlue, put in Robert Shaw, look for the 24th district. You can send in funds electronically, and it's very simple. We need help. Basically, we're trying to get the word out for people to vote. We want to make sure they know how they can vote, where they can vote, and whatever they need to get to vote. We want to make sure everybody's voice is heard, even if they're not voting for me. Everyone needs to vote. That's very important because we need to make sure we are making a difference.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. Well, I thank you for joining us. We will definitely keep following up with you because we want to do more of these events to ensure that your voice gets out into the community that especially as we said in that area. And the reason I brought up Marion Oaks is obviously in my mind, Marion Oaks is a community that I'm familiar with because I was really trying to think, why did I bring up Marion Oaks? But obviously that's a community that we know that we have to serve. And so we will definitely push this and our upcoming newspaper with a link to these interviews for you guys to be heard in that area. We will do our part to ensure democracy doesn't die.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate all your help. It's been fun. Hopefully everyone gets a chance to get out and vote, and let's make sure we save democracy.
Absolutely. And you have our email address now. You have any events coming up, share it with us so we can share it out.
Absolutely. And on the 28th, we do have an event in town in Ocala that will be down in town. That's the biggest thing I have coming up soon.
28th? All right.
28th.
I will shoot.
It's a rally in Ocala at 3 to 6 p.m.
Okay. We will definitely share it. I'll email you about that and we'll share it out and you will see us there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.